Yo, all right. So in this video, I'm just gonna simply break down like what the SDR BDR role is. I'm not gonna share my screen with you, anything like that. No writing. I'm just gonna talk to you and tell you what it is, what you can expect, and some of the details around it. My mouth gets so dry whenever I talk like this. All right, so I've been in tech sales for 2.5 years. I was an SDR, sales development representative, for like 14 months. Then I went to an account executive. That's what I am now. I've been one for like a year. So why do I talk about tech sales, or maybe more importantly, why do people want to get into tech sales? You can make a lot of money, and it's pretty chill. So you want to be, there's a lot of career paths out there where people are making 40, 50, or, more like 50 to 70 grand their first year, 52 to 72 their second year, 55, 75 their third year, maybe 80 by their fourth year, 90 by their fifth. In tech sales, I made six figures in my very first year. I might double that this year, depending if I keep my steam up, whatever. Point is, you can make a lot of money. There's enterprise account executives at companies, dozens of companies that are making seven figures on really good years. It's not every year that you're going to make seven figures once you're at that level, but you can, right? So it's like really good money, and you don't need a fancy degree from Harvard. You don't need to be working at the best like big law firm or investment banking firm. Like, no, you just work at a software company and get good at sales, and you can make a ton of money. I work with people that didn't go to college. Like, how crazy is that? Okay. If you didn't go to college, you need some sort of sales experience to get in, unless you know somebody. And so anyways, what does an SDR do, and why are they paid, so much money? Essentially what you can expect out of the sales development role. What you need to think of it as this business development organization, right? So you have your reps, your SDRs, and you've got your managers that manage them. On the other side of the business, you've got your closing business, right? So those are the account executives and their managers. Let's keep this really simple. The SDRs set meetings for clients that might be able to buy your software. The account executives close them. SDRs, their job is to drum up potential business. Account executives' job is to talk to that potential client and close them if they're a good fit. It's that simple. So the reason why SDRs are paid so much, and I'll just use myself as an example. When I was an SDR, in the 14 months that I was an SDR, I brought in, maybe $4.5 million of potential pipeline to close. So what's pipeline? It's just potential sales. So like if I set a meeting with, let's call it Apple, maybe they can buy my software. What's up, Tim Cook? Hey, this is the software we sell. You want to sit down for a meeting? Let's say he sits down for a meeting. My account executive has a meeting with him. He's like, oh, good job, Sean. If we close them, this is going to be a $500,000 deal. That's $500K of pipeline. And then if he closes it, it's now more than just pipeline. It's closed $1. That's revenue for the business. And so they're not going to close every deal. They're not going to close every meeting you set, but there's a lot of potential, right? So out of the $4.5 million of pipeline that I created, maybe, I don't know, over the next year or two, like 500,000 to maybe 800,000 of that, might get closed. And so it's like, yeah, I think I made a little over 100K my first year as an SDR. Well, hey, if I make the business 650,000, makes sense, right? So that's why they make so much money. And the way that business development organizations really do this, the way that SDRs do this, is you have these different sales tools, which are also sold by other software companies. So I have things like Zoom Info, which gives me people's, phone numbers, emails, position at the company, their title, that type of stuff. I've got things like Salesforce, which is my CRM. What's a CRM? It's just client relationship management, right? So it's where all my opportunities for potential businesses, all my accounts, all my lists of people and their numbers and stuff like that. Then I've got Outreach, which is like where I call people from. And then I've got LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is where I can search people through different companies on LinkedIn. So I'm like a professional stalker almost as an SDR, right? So I'm finding people. I've got my target accounts. I figure out who are the decision makers, who are maybe some people that would like my software within the company that might be open to selling the software itself within the company for me as well, like to help me do it. Those are called our champions. I might start a little lower, drum up some interest, get an idea of what the decision makers like, then call and try to set a meeting with some of those said decision makers. And then it's up to your account executive to say, yes, this is a sales accepted opportunity, or, no, this is not a sales accepted opportunity. So as an SDR, to like really button it up and just be, like keep it like short and sweet. All you're doing is you have these different tools to find people that would be a good fit for your software and set meetings with them. It's that easy. Day to day, guys, like you're not expected to just be cold calling every single day. When I was an SDR, I was doing 60 a day at first, and it dropped down to 45. There's some SDRs out there that are doing more. There's some that are doing less. 45 calls, guys. I was knocking that out in an hour to two. It sounds as chill as it's as chill as it sounds. I'd come in the morning. I would work super hard from 8 to 10, get all my dials done, set my meetings, send some emails, have a couple internal meetings. By like noon, I'm like almost done with my workday. And so, you do prospecting, you chat it up with some coworkers, maybe go down to the gym at the, in the basement at my office, hit the weights a little bit, come back up, do a few extra calls, maybe study the platform a little bit. It's pretty chill. I think it gets a little bit more intense as you continue to get promoted, but as far as just like the sales development role itself, you're not going to be cold calling all day. You might, an hour or two. But yeah, your job is to set meetings, drive pipeline for the business, and that is extremely important. Without SDRs, there's not a lot of opportunities out there for the account executives to close. That's why it's such an important role, and that's why they make so much money. It's almost like the lifeline of the business, right? You're drumming up so much business. Imagine you have a sales development org that's doing very well, and they build $100 million of pipeline in a year. Okay, imagine only 10 million of that gets closed. That's $10 million a year. Because typically in SaaS, it's their annual recurring contracts, right? So it's a good business model, and it's smart to have a bunch of stud SDRs out there calling people, drumming up business, and making things happen. So that's a nutshell of what an SDR is. If you want to talk to me deeper, I'll probably link my socials below in this video. I run a community where I also help people get into these types of roles. It's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of success making this video for them, really. And if you guys want to know more about this industry, hit me with a follow. I'm going to keep making these types of videos. And yeah, feel free to ask some questions as we go, and hopefully we'll keep these rolling. All right, peace.